Alright, so we are going to attempt to solve the standard form of a quadratic equation, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, using the completing the square method. Alright, now using the completing the square method is the easiest when a equals 1, or usually there will be no coefficient in front of the x squared. Now there's two ways to see this when it does not have a c, or sometimes the equation will have a c. So for example, without a c, we could have x squared plus 6x equals 0. And then with a c, we could have x squared plus 8x minus 9 equals 0. So first we're going to work on the one without a c. So when we are completing the square, we can create our own c by using the magic number formula. And to do that, c is going to equal b over 2, and that is going to be squared. So in this particular example, it is going to be 6 over 2 is squared, and just simplify that out, becomes 3 squared, which is 9. Now I'm going to add that to both sides of my equation. Remember, this is the original equation here. I'm going to add this 9 to both sides of the equal sign. X squared plus 6x plus 9 equals 0. I apologize. Adding 9 to both sides equals 9. So now I want to put this into a perfect, or factor it into a perfect square, which is going to have my x plus a number squared is still going to equal that 9. Alright, well, what number times itself is going to equal 9? Well, we know that's going to be 3. So now we have x plus 3 squared equals 9. Now I just need to simplify. So I'm going to take the square root of both sides. Remember, when we're working with equations or an equal sign, what I do on one side of the equal sign, I have to do on the other side. The square and the square root cancel out. I'm left with x plus 3 equals plus or minus 3. Because I know a positive 3 times a positive 3 equals positive 9, and a negative 3 times a negative 3 is going to equal positive 9. So now I just subtract 3 from both sides, and I get x equals 3 minus 3, which is 0, or x is going to equal negative 3 minus 3, which equals negative 6. So those are my two solutions, x equals 0 or negative 6. However, sometimes it will have a c in there, and you can use this to our advantage. Where first, I want to move the c to the other side of the equal sign. X squared plus 8x is now going to equal 9. And now I can follow without a c. So now I can create my own c. c equals b over 2 squared, or in this example, 8 over 2 squared. Same as 4 squared, which is 16. Remember, I'm going to add this 16 to both sides of the equation. X squared plus 8x plus 16 equals 9 plus 16. Simplify, equals 25, and then put this into a perfect square. Well, I know that I have to get this a number times itself, because I'm going to have x plus a number squared. So that is going to be 4. I can also double check my work, where 4 plus 4, oh, yep, 4 plus 4 is 8, so I know it checks out. Alright, so now I can simplify, take the square root of both sides. I'm left with x plus 4 equals plus or minus 5. Subtract 4 from both sides. I get x equals 5 minus 4, or x equals negative 5 minus 4, which is negative 9. So when I have my solutions, x equals 1 or negative 9. And that is completing the square method of solving a quadratic equation.